What's up, YouTube? On this episode of Coddiwomple Overland, we're going to be exploring the Smoky Mountains with our friends from O3 Outdoors.
We don't need a destination, let's go where the river's taking us.
We had a great time at Pigeon Forge at the Great Smoky Mountain Jeep Invasion, hanging out with friends and meeting new ones. But it was time to get back to a little bit more familiar surroundings. It was time to hit the mountains with our friends from O3 Outdoors. Dan and Chase will be hanging out with us for a couple days, and they'll be following along in Dan's F-150 Raptor. We got a bit of a late start as we had to stop by XGRID in Knoxville to drop a trailer off, but then we were off to the mountains and finding camp for the first day. West side of the Smoky Mountains is National Park, and it doesn't have any dispersed camping whatsoever, but we were able to find a primitive campground that looked like it would work just fine for us for the night. The campground that we found had sites right along the creek, and this was a really beautiful setting. There were a couple other campers in the campground, but everybody was spread out far enough that nobody really bothered anybody at all. Deb and I wasn't in a trailer this week. We were back into a rooftop tent. This week we were trying out the Man Ursa 1300. This is a new model from Man, and it is an incredible tent. Dan was going to be in his rooftop tent, but Chase was in a borrowed ground tent. This was his first trip overlanding, and he just wanted to see if he really liked it before he started spending any money on it.
It's been a long time since I owned my tent. Boom. Clean her up. "30 minutes. Well, we're good. Oh, finally. Shut down, smells fresh. This job.
The new tent wasn't the only thing we picked up from Man. Aspen is well known around camp for taking other people's seats, so we decided to get him the new Man pet lounger. He's had a camp bed that he used around camp for quite a while, but he always seems to prefer somebody's seat. He's really liking this new lounger. Dan wanted to try out a new Scotle that they were developing for the Overland market for dinner tonight.
You can move stuff off to the side as it's cooking.
So is this a prototype?
Well, it's kind of we had a bunch of stuff sent to us. We're gonna do a Scotle in the next couple months with the final production model here, and also a fire pit.
Awesome.
Yep,
That's cool.
Oh, this looks delicious.
Is he setting the standard?
He is setting the standard. I hope y'all can keep up.
Well, I'm liking this because we haven't had to cook since we've been here.
Game on.
Actually, Deb's liking it more than I do because I never cook anyway.
Alright.
Dig in.
Looks a lot like last night burrito deal, but just for breakfast.
I, Love the burritos. I think you need a bigger spoon, Chase.
No kidding. Look at that though.
Oh, that's goodness right there. A little cheese on that.
This is like, what is
You're
it,
set.
Guy Fieri or whatever?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's like the master chef.
Just like breakfast the night before, breakfast was delicious. As we had breakfast, we told a few more stories before getting ready to get on the trail. After cleaning up from breakfast, it didn't take long at all to get everything packed up and get on the move. The plan for today was to make our way back around toward Townsend, and then we were going to hit Cades Cove and Parsons Branch. Neither one of the guys had been with us had been through Cades Cove or Parsons, and Deb and I, neither one had been through Parsons. So it was going to kind of be a new treat for all of us. We were really hoping to see some bears and elk while we made our way through Cades Cove, but about the only thing we seen was turkeys. I think with the amount of traffic over the weekend from the Jeep invasion, everything was pretty much just hidden up. It's still, just like always, a beautiful drive, nonetheless.
There was a baby black bear laying down next to the tree turkey.
It's always fun to meet subscribers while we're out and about. We met the Mays while we were out on Parsons Branch. They rode behind us for a little while and then stopped and we chatted for a bit before lunch. We'd stopped to have lunch at the top of the mountain, and it was pretty much downhill from there until we got to the Dragon. This was also the better part of the trail. At the end of Parsons Branch, you hit US 129, better known as the Dragon. You can choose to go north, which will take you back into Tennessee, or south, which will take you on into North Carolina. We chose to go south on into North Carolina.
So I first rode this in, I want to say it was 2013, and I absolutely just fell in love with it. Just due to conflict, I wasn't able to come back until last year, and rode this really hard last year, about 4 or 5 times, a bunch of other roads around here, and I got to guide a bunch of people on bikes who had come down like a couple days after we had got here. So I absolutely had a ball playing on this road for a week straight.
The Dragon is very well known by motorcycle enthusiasts and sports car enthusiasts. And as you can see from the tree, there are a lot of people who have left carnage there. It's 318 curves and 11 miles going through the Appalachian Mountains. It's one of the coolest blacktop roads that I've ever been on, even in a Jeep. We continue our way south on 129, passing by the Chioa Dam. This is actually the film location of the Fugitive. By the time we made it to Santeetlah Gap, it was time to get off the blacktop and find some more dirt. This Forest Service road is pretty popular along the Santeetlah Creek, but one of the things that really makes it stand out is all the designated campsites and the old cabin that sits along the road. The Sturt cabin is an original 1800s cabin that was built in the area. The cabin really takes you back in time with its rock chimney and its original spring house. We had to stop and show Dan and Chase this step back in history.
There are some nails that they put in it, but
Along the Santeetlah Creek and this road, there are multiple dispersed camping sites that are available. It was still pretty early in the day for us, so we decided to move on.
Coming out here for Jeep Invasion and then meeting up with Bill and Deb. Dan and I are normally just rock crawlers and day trips. And this has been such a cool experience to get to know the overlanding lifestyle. To actually stop and take it in at night has been fantastic. Unbelievable.
By late afternoon, we had made it over to Citico Creek, and that's where we set up camp for the night. It was it was Deb's turn to cook, so she made one of my favorite camp meals, which is Polish sausage and sauerkraut. She normally can make some pretty elaborate meals, but this one was just simple, it was easy, and with the backdrop, we wanted to spend as much time sitting around enjoying it as we could. The next morning we were up pretty early and moving. We were going to continue our route a little bit further back north, but Chase and Dan had to be making their way west. We had a great time hanging out with these guys and hope to do it again in the future. And we hope that you've enjoyed riding along as well. If you have, please reach up there and hit that subscribe button. It will really help us out. Until next time, see ya.